Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited to see you today and to be filming a video. Yes, I am still doing my No Buy 365. I'm currently on day 256, and when I say I am loving doing this challenge, I tell no lie. It has been genuinely life-changing. I am more in love with my wardrobe than I've ever been, and I've always loved getting dressed, but it feels like the creative constraints have offered up a new way to look at my wardrobe, and it's made me so much more creative, loving using what I have versus feeling the need to buy more. That being said, one of the questions that someone was asking me was, okay, well, if I can't buy anything, but what about if I get free items? And I thought this would be a really good idea to make a video because I've found even during my own no buy, there are definitely ways to get free, high quality items for your wardrobe without spending money and without having to be an influencer. So I have been talking non-stop about my no buy over on my Substack, which is called Harry Styles by Harriet Hadfield. I love Substack. I feel like that is my little kind of like safe place, my safe corner of the internet, and I just love it over there. I'm usually posting most times twice a week, always once a week. So I will put a link down to my Substack below if you want to see a plethora of style related content over there. And let's get into all the ways that you can get free quality items for your wardrobe without having to spend a penny and without having to be an influencer. Okay, so tip number one, we're gonna wait until there is a really juicy credit offer to sell your items pre-loved. So when it came to my no buy challenge, what's been one of the best things is realizing I've already let go of other things in my wardrobe where I'm like, yeah, I just think I've outgrown them. I don't think I need them in my wardrobe anymore. So there are a lot of pieces I have let go of. And while I was doing my no buy, what I did was wait until there was a really good credit offer in order to do so. So I waited until the Real had a credit offer, which I think they had something like you get $100 free in credit to shop on the site. And because I had some credit remaining, I think I had like $10 or something remaining from where I'd had credit before, I was like, okay, I'm gonna sell some items and then I can treat myself to something for free without spending any money. And the piece I got, which I'm very excited about, was this. It is a woven basket bag this is from Loaf and Randall, and I think they don't do this style anymore, but it's such a good bag. It's such a good size. It has no feet on the bottom, but it still has this kind of more solid piece of leather. And I have worn this to death. What I've loved so much about my no buy challenge is I've really learned how to sit with weighing up when something is a good addition to my wardrobe and when it's not. So I've seen a lot of trends come and go over my no buy period, and I've always loved woven baskets. That's always been something I really enjoy, especially because I live in LA. And a brown woven leather basket bag had been on my wish list for a very long time in a larger size. Now this was on the Real for, I think I paid, well, not paid, I think it was $105. And so because I had $110, I was able to get this piece for free, and I absolutely love it. I'm so pleased I picked it up. So that would be my first tip, is wait until, if you're thinking about selling pieces, especially if you have any luxury items, I recommend waiting until they have a credit offer as an incentive to sell your pieces. That way, if you are looking to make some money from selling pieces that you no longer want or need inside your wardrobe, at least you have a little bit of credit where you're like, oh, I have to spend this. And I know when I got given that credit as well, it had to be used within a certain time frame. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a little fun, doing a little bit of shopping, but without spending any money. Okay, so the second tip is to alter an existing item in your wardrobe. I had 2 pairs of black jeans from Abercrombie. I love them both, but I was like, I don't wear both pairs as much as I should. I only really need one. And I'd had on my wish list that I wanted some longer length shorts. So I decided I'm gonna cut one of my pairs of my black jeans and make shorts. I'm gonna put a picture of me on the screen wearing them with lots of different outfits, because these shorts ended up working so much harder in my wardrobe than when they were a pair of jeans. And of course you could take them to a tailor, you could take them to somewhere to get altered, but don't be afraid to cut the bottoms off. Maybe you have a raw hem. My mum has a sewing machine, so I did this when I was back in England, and I hemmed them myself, and it felt like I had a brand new item of clothing. So I have them here. Hopefully you can see them. I've just kind of like cut them in quite like a long length. And look, I hemmed them. I'm so proud of myself that I hemmed these jean shorts. But again, I found that when it comes to using the no-buy principles and working with the pieces I already have, you'll be surprised how much you can do by just altering an existing piece. So tip number 3 is to arrange a clothing swap. Now, I was very lucky because a friend of mine actually texted me being like, Harry, I know you're having your no-buy. I've got the perfect thing for you. I'm doing a clothing swap. So come, bring some of your old pieces. The whole goal is that everyone brings pieces that they no longer want to wear, kind of gently used, lightly worn clothing, and you swap with each other. And then anything that's left over at the end, the host will then donate to a charity shop. Now, my friend did it for a really good cause and we all paid like a donation towards a charity. But of course, you could do this without having to pay any money to charity. You could just do it with a group of friends. You might want to do it within your community. But I can't tell you how fun this was. And I think in total there was about 12 of us. And at first I was like, I'm gonna be the only one who brings loads of stuff. And everyone really brought their A game. Like the goal was we all brought a friend each who also brought a bag of clothing. My friend put a little clothing rails up in her garden so that we could literally make it like a shop. And this was one of the pieces I came away with. Again, I still was so proud of myself for being incredibly intentional with what I took away in terms of swapping things. I didn't just want to go crazy, but I'm not gonna lie, it was fun because it did feel like shopping. But this piece is from COS and I love the white piping. It's got this like white line detail, and then let me see if I stand up, the light's gonna go all crazy, but I just have it with my black trousers and my, what is it called, the Anderson belt. And I've just loved this outfit. It's been one of those outfits that I just keep outfit repeating again and again because I feel so good in it. So I highly recommend a clothing swap. My friend just put some cookies out. We had mimosas. Again, you don't need to go all out, but I definitely think wine does make it more fun. And it was just so nice to hang out with some really lovely women, talk about style. I was showing everyone my index app. Everyone was loving that and hearing about my no buy 365 challenge. But again, I think having a clothing swap is a great way for you to get rid of some pieces that you no longer use, you no longer desire, and also possibly pick up something that's even better for your existing wardrobe. Again, I will link a piece that I wrote on Substack where I actually show all the pieces I got from the clothing swap and how I've been styling them. So the next tip is you could make something from scratch. Now, obviously this is going to depend on how creative you are, but try something new. For me growing up, we always had scraps of fabric lying around the house because my mum loved making things. Like I grew up in a household of people making stuff and I'm so grateful for that. So when I was actually home, last time I went to England, my mum knitted me I call it like a knitted tee. How cool is this? Isn't this just like the coolest thing ever? I feel like I'll insert some photos of me wearing it, but my mum had made this and she was like, oh, I was just doing it for like knitting practice. It's not a pattern. I get so many questions on my Substack. People asking me, can I give them the pattern of what my mum used? She was like, no, there was no pattern. I just wanted to practice my stitch. Originally, she was going to take the jumper apart. She was going to just do it for practice and then take it apart. I tried it on, I was like, oh my goodness, I love it so much, please let me have it. And it got me thinking like, okay, I'm not the best knitter in the world. I can do a scarf, but I was like, okay, when I was home, my nieces were having a love obsession with loom band jewelry. They were like, let's make loom band jewelry. And I found myself thinking, wait, upstairs in my bedroom, there's a box full of beads from where I used to make jewelry when I was a kid. Lo and behold, I brought said box down, showed my nieces, they were over the moon, and I decided to make some jewelry. I was like, here's what I can make. So, very, very proud of this. First of all, we have this little beaded bracelet, which I kind of love it stacked with all my other, let me see if I can bring it close. I love it stacked with all my other, sometimes I want to wear like lots of different gold bracelets. This one just adds something really cute and it's on like a stretchy bit of yarn. And then I made this piece, which I have been loving wearing with some of my antique pieces. So it's probably easier actually if I put it against the green. It's just little white beads with these little black shiny beads. And then again, I had all the clasps, all the things I had. So yes, okay, you might need to go to a craft store and buy some bits, but have a look at what you have at home. Do you know anyone who's giving pieces away? You could check out something like Craigslist or Gumtree to see if there's anyone who is giving away any dead stock of beads or fabric. See first of all if you could get anything that's being given away before you buy anything. But I have to say, not only was it so fun to have other new pieces in my wardrobe to play with, but the memories that have been etched into the fact that I made those pieces teaching my nieces how to make jewelry, and this piece, it just makes me so happy. And my last tip is to try your luck at a hand-me-down. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I go home and see my mum, her wardrobe is full of 90s goodness. So she's often selling things on Vinted or getting ready to have a clear out, and before she does, I'm always like, is there anything I can have a look at? And I managed to snag some really great pieces when I was last home. So first of all, these are vintage Giorgio Armani sunglasses. They have a kind of like black tortoise shell, and they are so chic. They feel so like 90s airport, and I've worn them to death, especially with the knitted vest. So that was one of the pieces. And then she had these Prada shoes that, again, they're almost like ugly good. You know, when you're just like, these Prada shoes, which feel very Sex and the City. I love the heel. The heel is so good. And again, I'll show you outfits I've worn with these as well. But again, I think it comes back to, is there anyone in your family, a friend who you could politely, again, if it feels appropriate to do so, where you can just let them know, hey, I love your wardrobe. If you're ever getting rid of anything, can I have first dibs? So that's it. I hope there was something in there that was helpful. I hope you're doing really, really well. It has been really nice to film a video again. Would love to see you over on Substack, and I'll put all the links down in the description box, and I'll see you soon.